Hello learners. Today we are going to start a new topic, type conversions. This topic is really very important to use the C# programming language because in C# whenever we are getting input from the keyboard, this input always be in the form of string. So when we need to convert the data to another type, means you need a value in the double format, you need a value in the integer format, you need a value in the character format, or in any type of data format, that time you need to use the type conversions. So we need to understand how to convert the type of string to the type as per the requirement of your system, as per the requirement of your program. So what do you mean by data type conversion? Type conversion is converting one type of data to another type. As I told you, we will convert the string type data to the another type as per the requirement of our variable, in which format we need to take the value. This is also known as typecasting. This process is also known as typecasting. We have two type of typecastings. Number one, implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. Implicit typecasting, which is performed by the compiler automatically. Programmer never bothers about to convert the small data to big data. If you are converting like for integral type data type, we have in C sharp byte, short, int, long, and char. Char is a different format, but byte, short, int, long, these four formats all are integer type data type. So if you are putting any small data size value to the big data type variable, so you don't need any type conversion. It will be handled automatically by the system. Even if you are putting any integer type value to the floating type variable, no need of data type conversion. But if you are putting floating point value to integer type variable, you need data type conversion. So when we need this kind of process, we use explicit type conversion. When we are directly using from short data to the big data variable, so there is no need of type conversion. It will be handled automatically by the system. This kind of process is called implicit type conversion. Implicit means automatic. Implicit type conversion is automatic type conversion. These conversions are performed by the C# in a type-safe manner. For example, these are the conversions from smaller to larger integral types. Conversions from derived classes to base classes. So, derived to base classes, if we are talking about the inheritance here. So, we will discuss after. But now, you can understand here the type conversions from smaller to larger integral types automatically done by the compiler. This kind of process is called implicit type conversion or automatic type conversion by the C sharp. Second is explicit type conversion. Explicit means manually. Manually type conversion will be done by the programmer. So programmer will done this process explicitly. Whenever we need odd conversion, whatever our compiler will not do, this kind of process we can do, but we need to provide some cast operators. So these conversions are done explicitly by user using the predefined functions. Explicit conversions require a cast operator. So there is a cast operator. We will understand the cast operator. It is a keyword in the C sharp. So we will just use a data type inside small braces. So it will become a cast operator. So we will see here in this program, this is an example for explicit type conversion. This is a using system. We know this is a system namespace. and this is user defined namespace type conversion application. Inside this namespace we have a class. The class name we have taken here explicit conversion. This is your choice, you can take any class name, any user defined namespace name, but this namespace name is system defined, so you cannot change this one, but you can change this one. So after that, inside the class we have a main method, and main method is static void main, and here is a string type array arguments we passed, so as an command line argument. So inside the main body, we have already discussed about static void main in the previous lectures. So if you do not have an idea about it, you please go through the last lectures and continue with the same. So now here inside the main body, we have a one double type data D. So double type data is always consumes the 8 bytes of memory in our system. So here D value will be assigned 5673.74. This value we assign to the variable D, and here the I is an integer type variable. Integer consumes 4 bytes of memory in C sharp. So we want to assign the D value to the I variable. The I is integer type, it is a 4 bytes, and D is a double type, is a 8 bytes, or even it is a floating point value. So how can we do this? So we need a cast operator double to int. So what we will do in this case, first we will assign the value from D to I, but we will convert it to the integer type. So how can we convert? We convert by using a cast operator. This process is called casting. This is a cast operator. It is a keyword in the C sharp. You can check in the keyword list. So in the bracket, we use a cast operator. This cast operator is nothing, just a data type. So in which data you are going to convert the value. So here is integer type. That's why we take it integer, because we convert it to integer. Then we will put into the integer type variable. If it is a string, so we need to convert it from the string. So we need to write here a string, and after that this data will be continue with the string type variable. So here in this example we are using double to integer, so that's why we are taking integer type casting. After that it is console class, write line is a method here, and we use a I just to print the value from it. Console read key, just it will wait to press the key whenever it will show the output on the console screen. So this is the program of using a cast operator. Come to the next. Here in the C sharp we have a built-in type conversions. We have a convert class, and this convert class having these methods. These all the methods are using to convert from type to type. So we will see, like the first method, to boolean converts a type to a boolean value where possible. It will convert the value, means from another type to boolean type, but where is possible. So you will understand about this. It is not possible all the time for all the data types. Which data types having a conversion to make it the value to the boolean, so only it will be preferred there. So 2 byte convert a byte to a byte. Byte is taking only 1 byte of memory. That's why this data type name is byte. So here when we convert a value to a byte type, so it will take a method to byte. Whenever we use character to be conversion, so use to char. Converts a type to a single Unicode character where possible. So we use here to char or to char. To date time. Date time is also a method here. Convert a type integer or string type to a date time structure. So it will convert the integer type or string type to a date time structure. So you should be remember about it. To decimal is another method converts a floating point or integer type to a decimal time. So it is also use decimal. Actually here is no floating point, so floating point or integer type to a decimal type. Now again, for double is also a floating point but having a more size, so convert a type to a double type. It is 4 bytes, it is 8 bytes. So 2 decimal 4 bytes and double 8 bytes. After that 2 int 16. Convert a type to a 16-bit integer. So here is specifically is 16 bits. So 16 bit here, 16 bit means 2 bytes because 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So that's why it is converting 2 bytes of size integer. So we are talking about the short. So here 32, the same for 32. So we are talking about 4 bytes. So it is integer. Short always consuming 2 bytes of memory. Integer consumes 4 bytes of memory. Long consumes 8 bytes of memory. Int 64 we are talking about the long. So long consumes 16 byte sorry uh, 8 bytes of memory, 64-bit integer type. So now 2s byte means signed. We are talking about the signed byte type. Signed which consumes the negative values to the positive values. It's a signed. Two single small floating point numbers. Two single is converting small floating point numbers. To string convert type to a string. To type convert a type to a specified type, means we are talking about the class, because here we didn't study till in this lecture about the classes, because we will discuss with the object oriented programming system in C sharp. But I can tell you here only the class is a user defined data type. Class is what? Class is a user defined data type. All these data types what we are starting here, like in the previous lecture we discussed about all the data types: integer, float, short, byte, long, int, and other like boolean, string. All the data types are system defined. All data types are primitive data types. So here to type means we are talking about the class type. Class is a user defined data type. So when we make a classes, we are making a user defined data type. So that's why one class to another class we can convert the type. So that time we use the method to type. After that uint16 means unsigned. Unsigned integer type. It means it always use for only positive values from 0 to all positive values as per the range of the integer we are taking here. After that uint32 the same, 0 to long type, and it will be all the values should be positive. In signed, negative and positive both can connect, but the range will be same for signed or unsigned. Only the values will be changed from negative to positive, and here all the values should be 0 to positive numbers. And here as well uint64 the big integer, it will also have all the values to be stored in a positive integer. Next we will see the example. In this example convert the various value types to a string type. So you can see here this example is very simple, and in this example just we are going to discuss about any type of variable we can convert to the string type. So you should not be confused in the future. We can only convert the string type values to string type. No, we are able to convert integer type values to a string type, float type values to the string type, double type values to a string type, or even boolean type values to the string type. So in this example we are expressing this only. And you can have a question here, why we are going to convert. integer type value to string type. We can store the value in the type of integer format as well in our database. Actually, in the database, if you are storing the value in the format of a string, the value should be same all the time, and the format will not be changed, and you will check to retrieve the value from the database. You will get the same result whatever you stored. But if you are storing value in the form of integer, float or double format, that time it will make a conversion from integer value to the exponential value or in a significant figures. So that time the format is not understandable easily to the viewer. So this is the difficult situation for the viewer. Like you store your mobile number of 10 digits. Whenever you store your mobile number in 10 digits, you have put the 10 digits directly and you store the value in the variable, and it will be storing to the database. But if it is in the same format of integer, it will convert the first value floating point, then the another values e raised to the power 9. So it is really difficult to the user to understand what is this, to understand the number exactly. So that time it is not easy to understand the particular format. So it is better to store your values by converting to the string type. So whatever the number you saved, the 10 digits, these digits should be same all the time, and it will be easily understandable to the user. You are a programmer, you programmed the value, so you can understand, even you can convert it because you are a science student, or uh, you have done it. But who is having a background of humanities, arts or other, they are not able to understand directly the particular thing, and they cannot understand it is a mobile number. So we need to think as per the user we have, as per the client we have. So because of this reason, I am just letting you idea about how to convert any type of data to the string type. So here the same we have a using system is a namespace, is a root namespace, and it is a user defined namespace. Then the class string conversion. Inside the class we have a main method. Inside the main method we have four type of data. Number one, integer I we have stored here one value 75 initialized to variable I. Floating point variable f, we store the floating point value to the variable f. Double d, and we store the double type value to the variable d. And boolean, and we store the value true to the boolean. We don't have anything difficult to convert the data from any type to the string type. Just we should use this particular way. I dot toString. ToString is a method on the last slide. ToString we can see on the 12th number. We can see here the type to convert to the string. Any type to convert to a string. So here we have used carefully I dot toString. I is the name of the variable and toString. F is the name of variable and toString, and D is the name of variable toString. B is the name of variable toString. We can see just the name of the variable and the method toString. It will be directly convert integer type value to toString, integer to string, floating point value to string, D to string, double type to string, boolean to string. And dear learners, don't be confused with this f. Whenever we are applying the floating point variable in this Visual Studio, we need to apply with small f. Nothing else. Your value is 53.005. F is only to show the value is floating point, nothing else. In double we don't need it, and in floating we need it. Okay, in the long we need L. So only with the float and long we have to specific type of characters to be adding at the end of the value. So don't be confused with it and don't be getting wrong idea about this. So this is only the f to be using for to show the compiler is a floating point number. If I'm not using here f, it will consume directly 8 bytes of memory. It will be converted to double. So you should be careful about. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your attention.